This is my generous leadership journey. Many people have always told me that I'd make a great leader. However, I never felt like I wanted the responsibilities that came with being a leader. The generous leadership program changed that. This program taught me that leadership is something else than leading multiple people. It's more about how you see them and if you choose to reach your hand out. You can be a leader to multiple people or just one person. Many classes feel as though the school is forcing you to take them. It may be useful for determining what you want to do in life, but other than that, they might not have a point. This class, however, felt as though it was teaching you information that would be important wherever you end up in life and may even stick with you throughout it. I always felt that I never had many things I seriously struggled with. There are always some school assignments that you struggle with. However, this class was one of the classes that I struggled with the most. Whenever I struggle with something or fail, I usually just take a step back from whatever I'm doing. I'll end up coming back a few hours to a few days later with a different mindset. If it's something I can't simply leave for later, I'll think about why and how I failed and use that to come up with a different strategy. When I first saw this class on my schedule, I had no idea what it was going to be about. I first heard it go by the name of Capstone Seminar, so I assumed it was going to be some semester long project. When I heard the other name of it being called the Generous Leadership Program, I thought we would be learning about leadership and maybe how to be a good leader or something else along those lines. This class, however, was much more than just learning about how to be a leader. It shaped and changed my definition of leadership, had me get out of my comfort zone, and taught me useful life skills. Out of all my classes, this one taught me some of the most useful things no matter where I ended up and important stuff, in my opinion. When I first started this class, I wasn't sure what it'd be about anymore. However, in the end, as I said, it turned out to be one of the few classes that actually taught me something that I found incredibly useful. Before I took this class, I kind of just accepted things as they came and never really thought about how I value myself. I never really saw myself as valuable or unvaluable. I just accepted who I was. The first lens we worked on was seeing ourselves as valuable. For this, we had a project where we had to make 2 goals and chart our progress on them for over a few weeks. One of the things I struggled with the most was making sure my work got in on time. So one of the goals I made was to make a planner to mark out and plan my day so I'd make sure I get my work done. The other goal was try to exercise a bit each week because that's something I've been wanting to do. At the end of the few weeks on where we did our goals, I personally didn't feel like I grew that much. One of the reasons why I feel like that was due to the fact that I forgot about some of the goals over my weeks. I feel like for my whole life, I've judged people without getting to know them. Appearances, the way they talked, and sometimes even a single action would be enough to judge them and determine if I wanted to be friends with them or not get to know them. Once we started working on Lens 2 to see people as people, that ended up changing. Lens 2 was probably the hardest project for me because I'm not very social and had to get out of my comfort out of my way to know someone. I ended up becoming good friends with my neighbor who struggled with the thoughts that their work wasn't good enough. I learned how to become to a better understanding with people as I'd always be trying to encourage my neighbor. Along with this project, just helped me see people as people. It also helped me become a bit more social. Uh, I've always viewed schoolwork in a specific way. I felt that if I if I felt that it wasn't going to impact my life after school, I cared less about it. I still did do the work though, as I understood the benefits of having a good grade. For our third lens, I tried to think about how I could have responded more positively to something that day. This ended up showing me that almost everything can be positive if you can change how you view things. By seeing that, I noticed how all my work has some form of purpose, which is going to help me some later in life. Also, during our third lens, we made our why statements, which help us find some purpose. My why statement was my life goal is to help many people with different problems so that no one feels alone, as feeling alone is some of the worst things people can feel. This was one of the easiest yet hardest classes I've ever taken. For me, the work always seemed easy, yet it was hard for me as it always put me out of my comfort zone. I was used to just taking notes and studying them for the upcoming class. This class, however, always ended up making me put part of myself into my work and actually think about what I was doing and kind of went along with how I thought of myself. Throughout the semester, I learned many things about myself. One of the biggest things was that I can be a leader as my definition of it changed. I also realized that many things I thought I couldn't do previously, I now can do. When we finished this class, I feel like that I grew considerably. There were obviously times where I would forget about some stuff I had to do for this class, but that just happened with most of my classes this year. But that didn't stop me. However, out of all the lenses, as I said before, I feel like I agree the most from lens two. As I said, I'm not a social person, so having to go out of my way and help someone I didn't know took me out of my comfort zone. It helped me become more social and change my view of leadership. And that's my presentation.